Hi there, and welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Rosa Coelho, health coach, trainer, and teacher. I'm also founder of the Simply Strong programs and community. Here, we cut through the noise to simplify health, personal growth, and lifestyle, helping you to thrive with ease, confidence, and vitality. Listen in because you never know when you may hear something that changes everything. Hello, beautiful friend, and welcome to another episode. Today, we are talking about why the words I know are keeping you stuck and what to do instead. Look, these are words that I have used a lot in the past, not necessarily with health, however, with other areas in my life. And I had a friend actually call me out on it once. And she actually said to me, stop saying the words I know because you keep saying I know, and yet you do nothing about it. And I was like, you are so right. Those words are almost like a defense mechanism. And since she made me aware of that, I have been so much more aware of it in other areas of my life, but also when potential clients or current clients say it to me. And I'm like, wow, powerful words, but not words that are powerful in a good way. So if you find yourself saying, I know, or I know what to do, but I'm not doing it, and all the things, take a deep breath. There's a way through this and past this. But first, we have to recognize that we do that. So once we know that we're doing that, then we can start to catch ourselves. And it doesn't mean we're perfect from the beginning, because perfection isn't a thing, but we start to break these cycles. So if you're feeling like, oh gosh, I really need to get my health under control, like I'm tired of this weight, I'm tired of feeling low energy, I'm tired of just like feeling like things are headed in not quite the direction I want them to. And yet, I say I know, but I'm not doing any of the things. So here's our 5 things that you can do instead when you catch yourself saying this I know, and yet it keeps you stuck. So step 1 is get brutally honest with yourself. It isn't until we recognize that we're doing this that we can make change. We have to get to the point where we are so clear that what we are doing is not serving us. And it's one thing to kind of think about it, but to actually start to reflect on it and even write things down and journal and have it like in our face, then we can accept, okay, here I am. This is where I'm at. And sometimes we lie to ourselves, and not on purpose, not like it's not a thing that we do to be horrible to ourselves. But for example, when I get ladies to first start tracking and they're like, oh, I eat lots of protein, like protein's not the thing I have to work on. This is just one little example. And then they start to track and they're like, whoa, I thought I was eating a lot more than I realized, like a lot less protein than I realized. I thought that it was more. I think I said that wrong, but you know what I mean? They think that they're eating enough and it's nowhere near where they should be. And so it's like, wow, that's the honesty with ourselves. And that's why I love tracking, is because it just is. It's the same thing when someone says, oh, I walk a lot. That's not something I work on. I'm like, do you track it? And then they say, yes, they track it, but they're not actually keeping track of it over the week. So they might have a week where, they walk a lot, but then they'll have a day or two where the walking is very, very low, and the average over the week then doesn't get you to the results. That you're not actually doing as much as you thought you did. And so tracking is super powerful. But again, you have to get brutally honest with yourself about where you are at and what you are actually doing for change before you can actually make a change. So being brutally honest is number 1. The second one is just stop waiting to hit this rock bottom. Like this rock bottom cycle is just so detrimental. We wait till that day where we just feel like so awful and disgusted with ourselves, and then the negative self-talk starts, and then we'll start again. And that whole cycle, it's very easy to become addicted to that. And then we're actually addicted to the cycle as opposed to being addicted to doing the things that we need to do to create change. And so we do, and this is normal to get into this a little bit of a victim personality, not victims like cycle, but The question is, how long do you stay that for? We all have our seasons, like, again, and no one is perfect, but it's like, how long are we going to stay there? How often are we going to get there where we just like beat ourselves up and are so horrible to ourselves and we think that that's actually what's going to inspire change? I've always said from day one, you can want change and make change and still come from loving yourself where you are in the moment. And I always say this, like, doing a course, say when you go to university to do a degree, you're not hating yourself because you don't have that degree yet. You are, you could be happy with yourself with how much you know now, knowing that you're going to know more in the future. And so it's just very similar. Like, we don't have to come from this place of being in this place of misery in order to create change. So the other one is, number 3 is make one uncomfortable decision, like one decision that you know is going to make a difference that you're not going to back out of. So the first one might be you're going to actually finally hire a coach. Maybe you're going to say, okay, enough of the waiting for the Monday or waiting for the end of that holiday. I'm actually going to start today, even though it's a Thursday or even though it's a Saturday. Like, I've had enough. Like, this next meal, like this moment right now, this is where I create change. No more waiting. So you've got to do something different so that your brain knows that you're about to go onto a different path. So the key is, when you're feeling inspired, to make the change now in the moment. If you're listening to this podcast right now and you're like, oh my gosh, I've got to do it right now. Resist that idea of waiting for tomorrow, waiting for the Monday or the holiday or whatever it is. Make one big change that is going to disrupt that cycle. And then know that you're going to have to make little changes like this as you go along. The fun thing is, after a while, you become addicted to that, like to the good change. And there's nothing wrong with that. The fourth one is get real support, not just information. I know there's Google and AI, and trust me, I actually love AI for everything that people are saying. Like, I know it could be scary for some people and whatever, but I think AI is just opening up like this really cool world of information. And I've used it like personally for all sorts of things, and it is helpful. But it's never going to replace a real human that is supporting you. And you know what? I'll actually share a little bit of a personal thing. Is I was using AI as like a personal counselor. Like, I was like, okay, this is how I'm feeling. This is what I'm doing. And it would give me like really great information. And I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. And, eventually I was like, I'm not actually healing in this area of my life. Like, I'm just not. And so for the first time, I actually got myself a counselor, someone that was recommended from a friend. And I had never done it. At close to 50 years old, I'd never gone to a counselor. And I'm like, oh, I wish so many people would actually go and do it. And it could take time to find someone that you resonate with or that you feel will be helpful for you, but it's worth finding that person. And I'll tell you, like, wow, what a world of difference it has made. Now, have they given me different information to maybe like ChatGPT or AI? I don't know. Like, I feel like ChatGPT, because it gets to know you more and more as you go along, has given me some really great information, but it didn't create that shift in me that it did having a real human connection. And I believe moving forward that is just always going to remain true. Now, I could be proven wrong in the future. Who knows how the way things are changing, but there is just something so powerful about that. So get yourself like a real support. Again, not more information. If you can't afford a coach, maybe it's a friend that has already on the path, that is, when you think of that friend, you think, oh, they're healthy, they're disciplined, they're goal oriented. Like, I just love where they are and where they've come from. And, maybe you can ask them for some guidance if accessing a coach isn't possible for you, but get real life human support. And number 5 is build trust by showing up daily, not perfectly. This one is so like, I find with
women too, like it's so easy for us to use perfection as an excuse to not do something. And actually perfection is just like another word for procrastination. It really is. It's like, oh, if I can't do it until I'm going to have that perfect week, or I can't do it until, I have this perfect 6-week period or this perfect 12-week period, or this time where I don't have a holiday or an event or this or that. That's when I'm going to do it. And like, that doesn't exist. And, I've got some great ladies right now that are coaching with me all through the summer. They're part of the master like inner circle program that I have. Once they've done the 12-week plan, they stay on with me monthly, those that want longer term support. And it's amazing because they are going through the summer. They're going through a time where there are more holidays. There is more time like off grid. So they're not able to connect online as much. They're having to adapt. They're, can take 1 or 2 weights on their holiday because they're driving, or no weight, and they're going to have to do body weight. They're figuring it out. And this is the power of not waiting for perfection. And this is how you create lifestyle, and your identity of valuing health is doing this through times that are not perfect, because what is perfect? And so they are really learning how to stick to their goals through different seasons of life, and how to enjoy life. Like, how can you still enjoy certain things at certain seasons without giving up your health, without heading back down that direction that you were headed that you didn't want to be? How can you get to the end of the year, reflect back and be like, yes, like this was the year that I did it. Like this was the year I lost the 10 pounds or 20 pounds and I got stronger and it didn't come back on. It's just so empowering to look back and be able to know, like, I did it through those different seasons. So build trust with yourself by doing those habits and having small wins and small action steps that get you to your goals, as opposed to worrying about being so perfect. So that's what I wanted to share with you today, my friend, is if you're catching yourself using the words, I know, now you know what to do instead. Number 1, you're going to get brutally honest with yourself. Number 2, you're going to stop waiting for that rock bottom cycle to hit. Number 3, you're going to make one uncomfortable decision right away. Number 4, you're going to get real support and not just more information. And number 5, you're going to build trust within yourself by showing up daily and not worrying about perfection. I hope that this episode has helped you in some way. Again, I only share from personal experience. I've been there where I was the I know person. So if you're like thinking, oh, Rosa, I'm ready for that one decision. I need to make change. I'm not waiting for perfection anymore. Like, I am ready. Reach out to me. You can reach out to me on Instagram. You can reach out to me through my website, rockofit.com, and let's have a chat about what this can look like for you. If the Simply Strong method that I coach women with is for you, right now I am still offering it as a 6-week program, but there's also a 12-week program. Most ladies will start with 6 and move on to 12, but many ladies now are just starting with the 12 weeks because we know 6 weeks is not enough. But I understand sometimes you're a little bit, nervous that this is going to be like another thing that doesn't work for you, but I'm telling you, this will work for you. And so I allow ladies to do the 6 weeks and then sign up for the following 6 weeks. And then once you're done a full 12 weeks, you can move on to the monthly support, the inner circle. If you feel like, yeah, actually, I want to make this long-term and I need more support. Everyone starts at different places. And that's why I have the monthly support for ladies that have they just have a little further to go, and 12 weeks isn't enough. But now they've got the steps, they know what to do, they've got the clear plan, but they would love to have that continued support. Okay, my friend, hope again that this episode was helpful for you. If it was, please share it with a friend, or on Instagram. I would love it if you tagged me and let people know that you're listening in.
Thank you so much for listening in today. I know time is precious, and I'm grateful you shared yours with me. It would mean the world to me if you felt an impact, a moment of inspiration, or learned something new. If you would share it with those you care about and leave me a review on iTunes. I'd love to know what spoke to you or what you'd like to hear more of. Your sharing and leaving a review would help so much on this journey to making an impact on as many people as possible. It's worth it. I know from experience, there are moments when something we hear has the possibility of changing everything.